Today's sponsor is Audible. Please visit audiblepodcast.com/baldmove for a free audiobook download. Welcome to The Watching Dead, the officially unofficial podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. We're part of the Bald Move Network. You can find all the things we do at www.baldmove.com. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And this week is the Season 3 wrap-up. Well, Season 3.0 wrap-up for The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Mid-season wrap-up.
Yeah, I don't want to say mid-season finale wrap-up. That's too much.
Yeah, especially
and we're going to have to do this 4 times.
Yeah, especially what they're pulling like Breaking Bad, where literally they're going away for a whole year and coming back.
It's almost worse that they're going away for a whole year.
Yeah, it's like, don't try to... I mean, I get it from an accounting, paperwork, bookkeeping, people getting paid standpoint that you're considering one season. But come on. You go away for a year, it's the second season.
I don't know. Do you think it improves...
You shut down for 3-4 months, it's the second season.
Do you think it improves the show quality at all? It gives the writers time between half seasons to start writing the next half season.
I don't think so, especially
smaller
judged
chunks.
on my interview today was Sang-Kyu Kim, who's the writer, producer for episode 4 from this season, The Killer Within. Mm-hmm. And I got to give a hat tip to Jason from thewalkingdeadcast.com. He actually set up this interview because he's a real go-getter.
You just gave the wrong website address. You said
Dead?
thewalkingdeadcast.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. www.walkingdeadcast.com.
There you go.
He's a real go-getter. He's got Glenn Mazzara he's interviewing. He's interviewing several of the actors.
Too bad you couldn't interview that guy.
He and his wife played a zombie extra in the season 2 finale.
Oh, you're kidding?
He apparently, that scene where Carl and Rick jump off the RV after
off the barn.
Jimmy got exploded by zombies. He's in that scene.
Oh, man.
And you can see him for a couple seconds.
That's pretty cool.
So, anyway, he's kind of, getting connected to the show folks, and he said, hey, I'm interviewing this guy. You want to help me out? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. So we talked to him for about 60 minutes today. I think people will enjoy the interview. We touched on a lot of things, including the alleged racial profiling The Walking does when selecting killing some of the cast members.
Sweet.
And I think I think you'll enjoy his answers and his story. So check that out at at walkingdeadcast.com. Thanks again, Jason. You are a cool dude.
All right.
We got because I just derailed this. I just felt like I felt a seg coming.
No, but it needed to happen, right?
Yeah.
We needed to talk about that. Okay.
We got other stuff to talk about in the intro.
We do. Go for it.
Our Bald Move meetup in Boulder, Colorado. This is probably the last time we're going to get to pimp it on this show.
Yeah.
I know it is until Walking Dead comes back because it'll come back after this. It's Friday, February 1st at 7 p.m. at the Avery Brewing Company in Boulder, Colorado.
And if you can't remember that and you want updates and reminders, just follow us on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.com
/baldmove,
Twitter.com/baldmove. The Personal Arrogance guys will be there and their entourage. Yeah. It's going to be a kick-ass time, man. These guys know beer. They know drinking.
Yeah.
They know Bo.
I was going to go there.
I just saw this documentary. I can't help it.
I know.
Have you seen the documentary yet?
I saw the last half of it.
Oh, Over My House?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where they talked about his hip replacement.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Motherfucker hit a home run.
We're not the Personal Arrogance. What are we doing talking about sports? Let's get into the Walking Dead feedback.
Okay.
I want to do the feedback first this time before we blather, because the listeners never get a chance to beat us to the punch. I want to give them that chance this time.
All right, beat us.
So we start off with some feedback from last week where we were talking about making fun of John Bernthal's Wolverine head. And several people emailed us.
It was such an arresting dude that it totally took the focus off his lobes.
It did.
We totally forgot to bag on the man's ears.
Big-eared Wolverine.
That's reason enough to grow out the Wolverine do, I guess.
Good point. But we got a lot of people who wrote in. I'm giving the credit to M. It's just the letter M because he or she was the first one to write in. Says, the reason John Berthal showed up looking like Wolverine is due to contractual restrictions put on him by the Wolf of Wall Street movie, directed by Martin Scorsese. He will be in soon.
The Wolverine of Wall Street. Awesome.
Wolverine of Wall Street. He couldn't shave his hair or beard due to the movie, and according to what they talked about on Talking Dead afterward, the Walking Dead producers had to come up with a workaround solution to justify Shane's grisly look by having the guy Rick actually saw and shot be bearded and resemble Shane, but obviously just be a different guy. So
I still think the white devil haircut, the dog tags, and the leather jacket and adamantium claws were a bit much. They didn't have to go to full Wolverine.
They didn't, but they did. So that's what they did. Next up is Julie W. She writes in and says, the reason Michonne has such a hard-on to kill the governor is not just because of sending Merle and the others after her. It's because she sees him as a rival who stole her one friend, and she's out to prove what he is.
Huh.
That's the simplest way I can put it. I love that. That take is so much better than ours.
I dig it. I don't know that it's true, but I dig it.
I'll go with it. LNA writes in and says, I'm pretty sure it was on your last cast that one of you asked about the tattoo that Norman Reedus has on his chest. Yeah, you were thinking it was a tiara, but apparently it's a tattoo that says Norman. It says his own name. This is what LNA says. It's Norman's own name. I guess he has some weird memento memory condition and used a tattoo to remember things. Maybe he should try using Polaroids instead. Huh. That actually turns out I did a little research, and that is his father's name.
Yeah, actually, we had a couple posters on our subreddit.
Okay.
That the first one I see was Leben. Oh God, Leben Nithel, I think.
Okay.
I think that's some kind of elvish metal that the dwarves like to work into breastplates.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm positive. It's featured heavily in the new Hobbit movie. He said that it reads Norman in fancy script in honor of his father, Norman.
Yeah.
Very recursive.
It is, yeah. Holly writes in, I got a totally different reading on the whole Carol and Axel Carol and Axel in the guard tower. Carl and Axel would be weird. I hadn't thought of it as a possible romance between the two of them, but rather them standing watch for the return of their group so that they could react fast if needed. Makes a lot of sense. In regards to them possibly using the guard tower for sex, I find it hard to believe that Axel, who was not only a creep, but was also a complete ass, would have been able to say anything or do anything to charm the pants off of Carol when she has a budding relationship going on with Daryl Dixon. Yeah. I don't think anyone would look twice at Axel.
Yeah.
Agree. And as I replied to her, why have hamburger when you can have filet mignon?
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
Anthony B. writes in, I started listening to your podcast for season 3. I loved it so much that I'm now going back to listen to all of your other Walking Dead podcasts. That's cool. I do have one suggestion. I know you already do a comic book comparison with the show in each spoiler section. However, I was wondering if you can also include a discussion about the newest issues of the comic book. The recent graphic novels, volumes 16 and 17, have really taken on some intriguing and shocking turns. I'd love to hear your reactions to these newest plot lines. What do you think about that idea? Reviewing the latest comics.
Idea. In fact, I kind of, would it be crazy? Would people listen? I guess that's the whole idea, or the whole question. If we did like a monthly off-season Walking Dead where we just considered the comic book. Because
good question.
I don't know if you could do that, because I'm thinking back through some stretches, there were some dry spells. But yeah, the current storyline is shit hot.
All right.
And I would not mind doing that. We've actually got, so should we do the announcement now?
I'd have to get caught up.
That's what I could
do that.
But you can do
graphic
that.
novels are like 2 minutes each.
I stopped at the same point you were, and I got caught up in a single weekend.
Yeah.
That's just like crack. You just blow through it.
Sure.
Should we make our other announcement?
Go for it.
So we did a Justified podcast last year, and we are not going to do a full Justified podcast this year.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult decision we made because we love the show, but the amount of traffic we got versus what we could be doing else with our time, we just didn't feel like it was worth it. What we do try to do is during our off seasons, a 15 to 20 minutes per show, a kind of potpourri cast covering Justified and whatever else is on the air. For example, I'm excited about season 3 of Downton Abbey coming back on. There's a lot of stuff during the summer, and we're going to try to, again, this is all kind of up in the air. We don't know exactly how this is going to shake out, but maybe a weekly that we continue doing all throughout the year where we talk about the shows we don't talk about. Don't have a full cast for.
Yeah, because there's going to be the full cast, which are the recaps and all the feedback and everything. And then there's going to be kind of these mini episodes where we talk 10 minutes, just kind of an overview of the episode. We don't recap it. We don't read a ton of feedback except for like really, really good stuff.
Right. Yeah, but it's like I was kind of willing to go forward with it, but it was going to mean a lot of overlap with the Game of Thrones and Mad Men, and I already did.
Walking Dead. It
Dead.
overlaps everything. Man.
It was going to be brutal for me, and I was like, I didn't want any of that. And Jim decided, he had some conflicts with his work schedule. Plus, we're trying to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff here at Bald Move, and we want to get that kind of in place before the next season of Walking Dead. So, Justified fans probably sad. A lot of other people like, whatever. But
99% of our audience goes, I don't give a fuck. I didn't listen to that anyway.
Apparently, so
yeah. But if you're not watching Justified, shame on you.
That's the thing. Justified should be way bigger than it is.
Yeah.
And again, I get the people to say, well, first season was kind of hit or miss. Mm-hmm. Season 2 is right up there with some of the finest television ever, and season 3, in its own way, is just as good. It's more good towards the Walking Dead end of the scale and not as good as like the Breaking Bad end of the scale, if that makes sense. But season 3 is an action and badass bonanza.
It definitely is, yeah.
And I can't wait for season 4 to come. So.
If they can continue the streak they've been on, I'm pumped.
Anyway, so a little bit of behind the scenes show news, and I'll let you get back to the feedback.
All right, moving on to Brandon from Georgia. This is a pretty long email. He went on a zombie tour in Atlanta where they...
yeah, go ahead. I got to remember something about this.
Where they took him by a whole bunch of locations that were used for filming in The Walking Dead. He's got a lot to say here, so I'm just going to read it. The tour consisted of mostly Season 1 locations. He visited the hospital stairs that Rick walks down, out the back side of the building there. The CDC, the streets where the tank and the horse were. We got to walk around the locations where the Vatos group were stationed, and he says that they recently shot scenes there for a movie called Catching Fire. I've not heard of it, but
really,
it's shot there too.
That's the new Katniss Everdeen.
I want to say, people are yelling right now.
God damn, it's the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. I was going to say
second
Game
part
of
the Hunger
Thrones,
Games trilogy. I believe.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it is called Catching Fire.
And they shot in a dusty parking lot. Interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, he goes on. Our guide was an extra that's been in many episodes of The Walking Dead and other movies and shows shot in Atlanta. You may remember him from Season 2, Episode 1. He played a featured zombie, which the writers coined Professor Woodchuck. After Sophia's disappearance, where Rick and Daryl are looking in the woods for her, he's the zombie that Daryl crossbows in the head and then looks for evidence of Sophia in his stomach. Trying to find Sophia parts. Mm-hmm. He says he was really informative on the filming process. It was great to get an inside view. Funny thing he mentioned, when Rick exits the hospital in the pilot, one of the bodies laying on the ground was a life cast of Bruce Willis.
No shit.
Yeah. So apparently they were using live extras for this scene. They weren't using live extras, sorry. So they had to fly dummies over to the set. And this one was left over from the movie Surrogates that came out a few years back. So he says that Bruce Willis had a cameo in the show.
Interesting.
Kind of awesome.
I got his permission. I'm going to make this into a full post, like a pictorial...
Awesome.
And post it to the site because it's cool. I found out that like they do these on every weekend. They're like $40.
Well, when you say they, it's one of the actors who is an extra, right?
But I don't know if he's the one that's like, or if he's just the quote unquote talent that they've got doing it. I mean, if it's him,
he's billed out by.
If it's him himself, then that's awesome. But you can find out more at AtlantaMovieTours.com. And WalkingDeadLocations.com. But I'm gonna type up that write up, his words, and I'm gonna give Brandon full credit and his pictures. But it's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's really cool to see the Rick's police station and the back of the hospital.
Even the back of the hospital, which is just a staircase.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool.
But it'd be cool to stumble out of that, Yeah.
And be like... And it looks like that store that they were in, the department store, was like it looked pretty tall in the picture.
Yeah.
I don't know why I say that because you can only see the bottom of it, but it feels tall.
But we remarked on the zombie. I remember because they had like a couple recurring hero zombies, and he was one of them.
Another thing he mentioned, talking about the guide, was that the season 2 was supposed to go in a different direction. According to our guide, after the CDC, Shane gets separated from the group, and they go back to the Vatos community, and everyone is dead. But not killed by zombies, but rather another group of survivors, which is supposed to be revealed later on as the governor and his cronies. They had already filmed a good chunk before the mess with Frank Darabont went south, so they scrapped most of the footage and went in a new direction. Kind of makes sense because that's the first episode. The first episode of that season was kind of rocky. Anyway, he says, just wanted to share my experience with you. Hope all is well. Look forward to the next season. Keep up the good work. P.S. Does anyone else see Milton's resemblance to the late John Ritter? I can't stop seeing it.
Yeah, someone on Facebook mentioned that too. And
he's right.
And since they did mention that, I can't stop seeing John Ritter.
Yeah. So thanks, Brandon, for now sticking that in my head.
See, now Andrea and Michonne need to make off with him, and they can do a hilarious remake of Three's Company.
Oh, God.
And the governor's Mr. Roper.
Yeah.
Or maybe Merle. Yeah, Merle's Mr. Roper for sure.
Oh, man. Entirely different theme song, though. Not nearly as upbeat. Mickey writes in. I don't know how to say that name. M-I-K-I.
Yeah, Mickey.
Says, Carl didn't lock Tyrese and company in a cell. He locked them out of the cells that he, Beth, Judith, and Herschel were in. So he's taking a little bit of issue with, I think, something that I said last episode, which was that he locked them in a cell.
I think, well, yeah, but they are locked in. They can't get out. And
that's
they can't get
what
in.
I meant. Yeah, I think I said that he locked them in a cell, but yeah, point taken.
Pedant. Pedant.
He goes on, he or she goes on, Maggie and Glenn were in an empty room with a dead walker. If that was the same room that Glenn killed the walker in, they must have had a crew take out everything that they thought Glenn could make a weapon with, thinking, let's see him make a weapon out of a dead walker. Guess he showed them. Yeah, you don't really expect that. Like, if you clear everything out, all of a sudden the dude's got a bone shiv.
Right.
That's a little crazy. Good stuff there. Then we go on to the real Paul Solar. He says he's only been a listener for a week. Well, congratulations on finding us. He's up to season 301. Wow.
Damn.
That's
cranking.
A lot of stuff. He says he's driving his girlfriend crazy by only speaking to her in me doing Aaron, doing Andrew Lincoln, doing a Southern accent. That would even drive me crazy.
Wow, that's a lot of meta levels there.
Definitely. And he says that they wasted T-Bone. I think it was a cult fan favorite and potentially very interesting. And he went out like a damp firework.
What's the guy's name?
The real Paul Solar.
Keep up the good work there, Paul. That was a shitty Rick. I forced it.
You didn't go over the top enough.
Tried to force it.
Yeah.
Listen up, Paul. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
No. Noel W. says, really enjoyed your comments on the Made to Suffer podcast about how invested you are in the characters now. On that note, I wanted to bring up a controversial viewpoint. I kind of want Merle to live. Okay, I know there's no way he can join Rick's group after what he did / has done in the past, but that last scene between him and Daryl I thought was amazing. The way it was acted just said to me that here is a man who has made a shit ton of mistakes, and now he knows it. And furthermore, it now looks like it's going to cost his brother his life. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I thought that scene and the look between the two brothers was truly heartfelt. I wanted to see how you guys felt about Merle living.
Yeah, I just don't see where there is anywhere for him to go.
You don't think Rick's going to take him back? What if he saves Daryl and Andrea?
Redemption? I don't know. There's a really good take I want to talk about this in spoilers.
Okay.
But I just don't see how they can, outside something really creative.
And by creative, you mean bullshit?
No, I mean, in something
they'd have to do a lot of groundwork.
Like
first.
I said, I can't speculate on what I think would be cool without getting into comic spoilers.
Okay.
So that's the only way I can see them actually doing this.
All right, well, try to remember that for the spoiler section. Right. Also, Noel W. says, thanks for reading. If you do read this on the show, I'm from Wales. Can you give a shout-out to all the Welsh fans of The Walking Dead? Shout-out.
Go Welsh
Go
fans.
I would do an accent, but it would only be offensive. Evan C. says, "Hey guys, my question might be too premature, but I was thinking about it while watching tonight's episode of Dexter, where things are starting to come to a head. How do you think the series will end? I would hate to see The Walking Dead force some kind of cheesy Q Rick accent. Humanity is saved ending, but how else do you bring a satisfying close to such a bleak show?"
Man, I don't know. What do you think? I've got some ideas, but...
Well, he goes on to actually ask how I think. Other than reading I Am Legend, I'm pretty unfamiliar with post-apocalyptic fiction. Maybe Jim, our lovable bald move zombie expert, can provide some insight on how most stories end. Well, I'll tell you how most of these stories end.
Not well.
Not well. In almost 100% tragedy. I mean, if anybody survives, it's one, maybe two people, and you've started with a group of like 7 or 8. That's how most of them end. Most of them don't actually kill everybody, because that would be too much of a downer for the American populace to stomach, I guess.
But sometimes they leave them in situations where it might be arguably better to have died. Like
Sometimes
really bleak,
they do, yeah.
lonely, miserable existence type of ways.
And sometimes they imply that everyone dies. Like Dawn of the Dead, I can specifically think. When they take off, the remake anyway, when they take off in that boat, the end credits imply that they get killed. The original Dawn of the Dead, 2 people fly away in a helicopter, and they just imply that they've continued to survive, and they're kind of like flying off into the sunset, but not really. But most of them, I mean, even like the stuff that isn't true zombies, like 28 Days Later,
right?
A couple of people get away. That's about it. But the situation is still grim.
Sure.
They never like solve the zombie apocalypse.
No.
It's always just, well, they've lived to survive another day. So that's pretty much how they end.
I just wonder, because Kirkman obviously has a long plan for this, and, you know, again, I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but eventually they'll run into a situation where he has to start telling about the rekindling of civilization. And that could be, it's kind of like a Revolution-style plot, but with zombies, increasingly sparse zombies. And that's a pretty good a place to explore. But I often wondered, because he's gone on record saying, well, this is really a story about Carl, and we're going to, you know, about him growing up in this world. And like, wow, could he sustain a story where Carl eventually is 20 or in his mid-20s? Is this going to be a Prince Valiant run where it just goes on and on and on and becomes more about the characters' sons and daughters than the original characters? I don't know.
It might be.
It's like,
that could be interesting.
As long as it's still interesting, as long as you can keep it interesting and tense, and people like it, why not?
Yeah, I'm all for it, as long as it's good.
Obviously, AMC will keep making this as long as 10 million people watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah, whether Kirkman wants to or not. I mean, he's lashed at this beast.
On that note, he also asks, is there any information on how many future seasons The Walking Dead has already locked in? With 10 million viewers, I imagine there's quite a long road ahead.
I just saw an article, I believe, on the Walking Dead cast, or just, goddammit, WalkingDeadcast.com's site, where season 4 has been confirmed.
Yeah.
But that was
obviously,
not a doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
Season 4 is confirmed.
Right.
Now, if season 4 does the numbers that season 3 did, season 5 will be confirmed.
Sure.
It's really just a matter of how long can the audience sustain the show.
Right.
I don't know that they have an endpoint in mind yet.
The other thing that could torpedo it is everyone, the actor, like Andrew Lincoln. It's like, well, you got a hit show, fuck you, I want 3 times as much money.
Yeah.
And Norman Reedus the same.
But then they just kill him. And
it's hard to kill Rick.
Yes, you could kill Rick, but the audience might leave with him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like, this show is already an expensive show. It makes tons of money and lots of sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's a budget conscious show too. And AMC controls every piece of it. So
Sure.
I could see where that might be a problem. And also, they're burning through a lot of comic book really quickly.
They are.
I mean, at the end of the full season 3, they'll probably be, I'm anticipating, around issue 40 to 50. And, you know, that's halfway through the run. They're 105 dropped today.
Yeah.
So you're halfway through the run in 3 years of
and the trouble
TV
is,
watching.
That's what saved this season, right? I mean, we went through last season going, oh my God, this was one issue in the comic. Just get on with it.
Right. And I was
and now they're burning through it. And,
I was talking to Jason during the I think this is going to make the end of the episode, but we talked about how we see this going. And I feel like season 4... I feel like by season 5 they'll have caught up unless they really drag their feet on events that happen in season 4. And the way they're making this right now, very taut and action packed. I don't see how they can do that. So certainly season 5 they'll be caught up to 2012 current, 2013 current. Certainly by season 6. So but that's a long run for show, honestly.
That's true. It's not a bad run.
Yeah.
Tyler from the UK says, going forward into season 3.5 and beyond, I worry about Rick's relationships. He clearly doesn't care about any new survivors he meets. For example, Oscar was expendable and Michonne was only used as a guide to Woodbury. Rick does care about a few members left in the prison group, yet I can't see his interactions with Tyrese and his group being any different to what we've previously seen. Even if they prove themselves, he won't fully trust them and definitely won't care when they die. Unless we see characters who already have an emotional connection to Rick return, like Morgan and his son or even Morales and his family, Rick might get stuck pushing people away. Would love to hear your thoughts if possible. Any thoughts on what they're going to do with Rick's character now that he's kind of an asshole to everybody else?
I don't know. I think that's going to be, how he deals, especially with Carl going forward. You got to also wonder. I mean, that's going to be key. You also got to wonder if they're going to try, as the hero, make a love connection with any of the survivors, or if he's going to meet some new survivors. If is that going to be, and how will he be able to trust?
Is Carol going to come between Daryl and Rick?
I mean, how's he going to process? Because he really hasn't. I mean, he had his psychotic break, but he hasn't really processed everything that's happened this season. What's going to happen? The other thing is what's going to happen with Judith. There's a relationship that's going to be important to him, and it's going to be honestly a liability in this world. So yeah,
little ass kicker.
What do you think,
Dad? I mean, I agree with Tyler's take here. He's definitely being an asshole to everybody now.
I don't think he's being an asshole to everybody. If you can get, you think so?
Everybody knew that he's met. Yeah.
Oh well, but that's justified.
Sure, I think it is, and that's kind of where I was going. The new people that he meets, at first he's going to be kind of an ass, but give them a couple episodes, just like we saw with Oscar, just like we saw with Axel, they'll start to integrate. If they can prove to Rick that they're not crazy, that they're not out to harm his group, I think he'll let them in.
I hope they integrate a little bit better than Oscar.
Yeah. Maybe he just needs meat shields. Jake in Baltimore says, I just wanted to give a few hopes and ideas for your recap or upcoming half of Season 3. He says he really likes when we talk about zombie apocalypse strategy. So, to that effect, he was at work the other day, couldn't help but dream up a few scenarios. He works at a construction equipment dealership. So, like forklifts and bulldozers and stuff like that. He says it's fenced in, and it has barbed wire at the top, the entire lot. Inside, there are large machines of all shapes and sizes, and there's a 10,000-gallon diesel fuel tank on the premises.
Nice.
And he says he thinks these machines can have several uses and can be found and used easily by any survivor. First of all, he says, got menacing walker herds, easily crushed by the solid steel tracks or by a swinging excavator arm. Low on food and supplies, just take the off-road dump truck down to the nearest Walmart and load up. Enemy Woodbury types got you down? Guess what? I just tore down your flimsy tire barrier, smashed Shitty Bow Girl, and have moved on to demolishing your entire compound. I like that one. He says he thinks the show has forgotten about resources like these, or maybe they just don't have the budget to show something like that. All we get to see is everyday commuter vehicles other than Daryl's chopper. And they don't need to turn the show into Mad Max or the Road Warrior, but a few more items like dirt bikes, ATVs, and construction equipment would be awesome, in my opinion.
Sure.
So, yeah, I agree with that. They're not being very creative with this scenario.
Also, plugging our new Reddit site on reddit.com/r/baldmove, there was actually a neat thread about this very topic, the zombie apocalypse survival, and We had a guy that I believe was a trucker that works for a distribution company that they're saying like fuck the Walmarts and Sam's Clubs. You want the distribution warehouses that feed like 10 Walmarts.
Oh, I know where one of those is. That's where I'm going.
Well, we got an Amazon warehouse in our neighborhood. So there's a kind of a neat little thread about that too. So yeah, I find that interesting too. Mm-hmm. Like if this were like a real natural disaster, a zombie apocalypse, how would you survive? What would you be willing to do? I mean, that's kind of like any kind of doomsday survival comes down to how much of your humanity you're going to lose. Are you going to share with your friends and family? If your neighbor comes over and he doesn't have any food or weapons or anything to offer, are you going to take him in? Or are you going to be
Are you going to eat dog food?
Are you going to eat dog? Are you going to eat your neighbor?
Oh, yeah. There's that.
It's like, it's interesting social question. And
For sure.
you just like, there's like no limit to how far you can go down that hole.
Yeah, and I feel like they have explored that a little bit in the show. I mean, the dog food is one example, but there are countless others. But I kind of agree with him. They haven't gone too far into that yet. And I'm hoping they kind of do as things go on. The next harsh Atlanta winter.
Yes.
Yeah, then we'll really see it.
Yeah, we'll see where it'll be the dividing line between the men and the men who are eating other men.
Alex
Over
F.
charcoal briquettes.
Alex F. writes in, well, it was a good run. In the weeks since the finale, I've been thinking about what made this season enjoyable rather than something I'd get drunk and hate watch the way I did with season 2. In a word, I think it was momentum. Things kept moving and a lot of ground was covered plot-wise.
Yeah.
It's like a completely different show. I feel like the season 2 version of The Walking Dead would have spent half this season dealing with Tomas, a.k.a. Vatos 2.
Sure.
And the finale would have been Lori's death and the big reveal that the governor has a wall of heads. Instead, we charged ahead at a breakneck pace, and hey, when there's enough going on and the drama doesn't have to be driven by characters doing stupid things, turns out we all start liking the characters. Definitely.
I mean, the momentum, it's like, it's hard to... it's night and day. The amount of material and character development and everything that they plowed through compared to last season. Oh my God.
It's insane. And I, for one, am super happy about it. We'll talk about it more when we get to our section of it. But yeah, totally agree. Totally. And the last non-spoiler piece of feedback we have is from Aaron. And I always think E-R-I-N is a girl. So I'm going to say she.
Okay. Erin.
Great. I don't know if you guys have watched Luther, and if so, you can just stop reading. But holy crap, I think you would love it. It reminds me of The Wire mixed with Breaking Bad if McNulty was played by Stringer Bell and British accents.
Damn.
That's strong.
That sounds pretty good, and I've heard a lot, and I'm a big fan of Idris Elba.
There's only 14 episodes in 2 seasons.
Dang.
And they're filming the third now.
That's the way the Brits roll. I mean,
yeah.
I could get into that, definitely.
Yeah, with Idris Elba there, I'd like to check it out at least. That's all we have for feedback in the non-spoiler section. I've got a few things that I wanted to talk about in regards to this half season and kind of the characters and their story arcs as we went through the season. I just kind of want to run through each character and say a little bit about how they've changed, what we think of the changes that they've made, things like that. So let's start out with Rick. I think he's the most pertinent character. Rick has changed a lot. He's gone insane.
Yes. Multiple times. He's had at least 2 psychotic breaks that I can think of.
Yeah, he has. Do you like the way that his character has progressed through the first half of the season?
Yes. I mean, I didn't like it a lot of times, but I have to say it's been satisfying taking on as an arc. And we're seeing a tail end of the crucible that's kind of forged the new Rick that's going to, lead us into, continue to lead us through the apocalypse. And I didn't like his reaction, necessarily how he handled Carl all the time. I didn't like how, he handled Michonne and some of the other newcomers. But, just every single time he had a chance to slip back into Beta Rick, he would take a machete and shove it in some fucker's head, or toss flashbangs and assault a heavily armed enemy fortification. I mean, this guy's not the same guy from season 1 and 2.
No, definitely not. And I credit the harsh Georgia winter for that.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. The first episode of this season just picks up 8 months later, and we see really the entire team is a more grizzled, hardened team, and certainly Rick at the head of that is leading it and is as grizzled or hardened as anyone.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see him even progress from that point where we started at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
And like we said, go insane.
Plus, the man, he's got bright white lines as far as what he will and won't do. He will, kill people. He will not eat dog food.
He will answer a phone that is not ringing.
He will. He will do that. But he will not say hello to his newborn daughter or comfort his son after the mother died in a brutal fashion. So,
nope.
He's a man that knows what he will and won't do.
Speaking of his son, what about Carl's arc? What do you think about old Carl there?
Like I told the writer that we interviewed today, saying Q Kim, these guys have written their ass off when it comes to Carl. Chandler Riggs has acted his ass half off. Whoever's been directing has directed him very well. I mean, the best testament you can say to a character is, this is a laughing stock. This was the butt of many a Reddit image macro joke last season. And in a half season, they've completely turned that around to where he's a fan favorite. What more can you say? He needs to lose the fucking hat.
He does. I mean, that was kind of the joke last season, is Beta Hat.
Yeah. He's
they've
rehabilitating the Beta Hat.
I'm simultaneously really interested to see where he goes, and also really worried for him, because he is going to dark places as far as I can tell.
Right.
I mean, he is very much jaded at this point.
Right.
It doesn't get more jaded than shooting your mother in the head.
Yeah.
To keep her from turning into a zombie. So like you said, I think he's doing a fantastic job acting, and they're doing a much better job writing for him, and I can't wait to see where he goes. Next up is Andrea. Now that she's over there with the governor, all cozy, drinking her whiskey, I think she's developed quite a bit. She's certainly changed, right? At the beginning of the season, we see that she's kind of she's as hardened as anyone in this group, and I credit Michonne with that.
But there's the thing: it's like I hate being on the wrong side of viewer tidal wave, and a lot of people were like totally out on Andrea. I think even now, everything she can be pretty believably justified and is in line with what I think she would really do if presented with the options she was given. Now, it's not like the badass Andrea that's in the comic books and blah, blah. But this Andrea isn't that Andrea yet.
That's the key, yeah.
So, and...
is she going to turn into that? We don't know yet.
They've got a crucial 2 or 3 episode window of how they're going to handle this, where I feel like if they don't handle it right, there's going to be a lot of people checking out on her character. And if they handle it right, then we're right back to it's going to be a pivotal role in her becoming the badass she needs to be. So
she especially needs to stand up for Daryl here. If she doesn't get Daryl out of the situation she's in, or at least not let it happen the way it's going to happen,
right?
Then people will totally dump her character, because everyone loves Daryl.
Sure.
So, but I do like. I see where the audience is coming from when they say that they're not on board with Andrea kind of being oblivious to everything that's going on. But at the same time, I really like how she's now found this secure place that she wants to stay in. And not even her best friend leaving can change that. Right. The world out there is so bad.
Right.
She doesn't want to go back out there.
Yeah.
And it seems perfectly justified.
If I was Andrea, I can't imagine, even without the angle of being attracted to the governor and having him take an interest in me, I can't imagine wanting to leave this place and go back out there with
Yeah.
the circumstantial evidence that was presented by Michonne to Andrea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you came to me and said, I just got a bad feeling about this governor guy. I'm like, yeah, well, I have a really good feeling about my mint julep with ice.
Yeah, it's way better than the feeling I had when I was sick and dying on the floor of a
and I was
convenience
running for
store.
my life on a day-by-day basis and
Drunk off
starving
my ass.
and with no human contact. But you're dumbass. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
like that.
Yeah,
they put her in a tough spot here, and it's playing out how I think it would play out.
If anything, I think Andrew's plot development has made Michonne look bad.
Why do you say that?
Because if she if just flip that scenario around where I've seen some hinky freaky shit from the governor, and I'm trying as your friend to convince you to leave this place, I think Michonne did a half-assed job at convincing.
That's true. She
You
never
just
said
gotta
a word.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Why don't you give her some evidence?
Why don't you take the book and show her? Look at all these scratch marks.
Yeah.
Not right.
Right.
Yeah. So now that she's seen the heads and the daughter,
Yeah.
I'm hoping some sense will be knocked into her.
Sure.
Next up is Daryl. Daryl's awesome. Although I feel like they didn't do much with Daryl this season.
Which is appropriate. Daryl got his own basic episode last season. He was clearly the star of the show.
I actually liked his
favorite.
arc last season better than this season. He
Yeah.
didn't have a real arc.
But I think that's coming. Like, I see season 3.2 or 3.5 as being very Daryl heavy.
Definitely, yeah. So eager to see that. Next up is Michonne.
Yeah, the jury's still out.
Definitely. She didn't have much of an arc. She was silent the whole time.
I'm surprised from the feedback we got at the start of last season, because people got to think. We talked about, like, what do people watching the show make of this ninja chick jumping on the stage with a cloak and a samurai sword and beheading zombies with two other zombies in chain and tow. I mean, that's so bizarre by this show's standards. But, people have totally accepted that, and now they're just bitching about the fact that she doesn't talk enough, or she doesn't, is not empathetic enough. So the show's got to pat itself on the back a little from navigating that kind of, like...
Good point.
Starting off with that kind of level of skepticism and going on. Now, again, I think the actress is great. I think she's shown what she's capable of. But again, the writers have they really need to sharpen that up in the next season, season 3.5, and make her more relatable. Definitely
make her more of a human.
Yes.
Glenn, do you like where Glenn went this season? I don't feel like he changed very much. He just got put in a lot of bad scenarios,
right? And
Merle and being kidnapped.
And his speech about he'd trade anyone else for any number of other people for any one of his, I think was a good mark of his character development. The fact that him and Herschel are like father and son-in-law in all but name at this point, and how far they've come. And I thought, again, talking about character development, his withstanding of that torture, and killing that zombie with his not bare hands, with a chair he himself broke out of. He was bondage to this thing. That's not the Glenn that got lowered into the well.
No,
in one of the worst parts of season 2. This is a new, tougher, stronger, more valuable, more resourceful for Glenn, and I like it.
Well put. Moving on to his counterpart, Maggie. I don't feel that she changed very much. She changed during the season break, right?
Well, you
that
go
8 months.
Yeah, you go from a person who was squeamish about killing walkers to one of the commando teams that assaulted the prison.
But that's not the part that we saw.
Right.
And
her only weakness at this point is Glenn.
Yeah. And it's been exploited once.
Yep.
Got to wonder if that's going to happen again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how their relationship moves forward. Like, after this experience, are they going to be as willing to go out and venture forth into the world, which has kind of been their role? They're the runners, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to be as willing to do that? Or are they going to start, because once you start building a life in this situation, you start to hold it dear again. And that can be a bad thing.
It can be, and I think I'm worried about the Glenn and Maggie duo here, because they are... We're seeing a lot of ties being tied here. I mean, they're obviously in love, and I think if one of them were to be taken out, that would drive the story forward for the remaining character, because they don't have a lot of story left that we've seen, right? I mean, they just got rescued. So
Right.
now where does their relationship go? Well, it's just as strong as ever, but if one of them got taken out, that would compel the other to do some things that might be pretty interesting. I'm worried for one of them. I don't know which one, but one of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they killed, I don't know. I kind of, if they kill one, I hope they kill the other, because I don't really want to see another psychotic break. And I feel like that's the level of fallout that would come from that.
The next episode is going to be all ringing phones. Herschel's going to be like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Right.
Answering these broken phones. Speaking of Herschel, Herschel's next on the list.
Okay.
What do you think about Herschel's missing leg? And he doesn't have any development. I mean, he's just been in the background this season.
Herschel is developing along the Dale track from the original comic book plotline.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I mean,
Being
he's
legless?
got his leg cut off, and he survived that and kind of made him tougher, and he's still a valuable. I mean, I'm a big Herschel fan. I like him.
I do too.
I like it when he talks to Glenn and when he talks to Rick. He's like the wise old sage somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got a,
but not much.
He's
changed.
also got a positivity inside him. That, like, he already had his breakdown last season when he went to the bar, and almost got 3 people killed. So it's like I feel like he's got this well of optimism that the group relies on.
Definitely. Are you as optimistic about Carol?
I gotta say, Carol has gone from someone who I would really be pissed if she hooked up with Daryl to I'm okay with that. And again, I gotta say, she had a really nice moment there with Rick when she found out that Lori had died after they kind of got reunited. And I can see that this actress has got some stuff to her. So, I'm. Obviously, I wouldn't shed any tears if she died yet, but I wouldn't take glee in it either.
Yeah? What if she shacked up with Axel?
Fine. Whatever. I think Axel's a bit beneath her.
I do too.
As the one guy pointed out. I mean, she's got her eyes on the Daryl Meister.
Definitely. And our last character, still surviving, is Beth.
Beth is only interested to me in what she can reveal about Carl.
Absolutely.
I mean, she is a sounding board for that character at this
Without
point.
Carl, she isn't a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean, she's something that also they could cheaply put into jeopardy to get a rise out of Maggie and Herschel, but she's the girl that Carl's got a crush on, and that's about it as far as I can tell.
Yep. All right, that's pretty much all the characters. We won't even talk about Axel because he didn't have much screen time. I did want to ask you, what do you think it was? We kind of talked about this a little bit, but what do you think it was that made this season so good as compared to the terrible last season?
I think the listener said it all: momentum. The farm just stagnated and sat.
Forced characters to go around and around on things that we had already discussed.
They took a single issue plot line in the comics and blew it out to 13 episodes. They took 20 of the best comics of the show's run and compressed it to a 16-episode season.
To 8?
Well, but I'm saying we're not done with that whole run. So it's like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Instead of, and I think the writers understood that. Now, one of the things I got from an interview is maybe, they learned the lesson that, the viewers don't like quiet character moments. We just need to do action, action, action. I think that's actually bullshit.
I do too, because season 1 had some really good ones.
I think they need to learn how to do those sections better.
They need to learn how to do that without slowing down the overall plot.
Yes.
And it can be done. I mean,
they've done it.
The stuff with Morgan was fantastic in a lot of places.
Very interesting. So it's like, I hope they definitely learned the lesson that we just have to keep the pedal to the metal the whole time through. I really hope that, they've learned that they can do both, but they have to do the quiet character development moments very well. And they can't have character development isn't, I'm doing one thing one week and one thing the other and going back to the other and having the same rehash, beat us over the head with the same fucking motif. It's got to be, so that's my opinion. What do you think?
Right. I agree 100%. I mean, the speed with which we moved through it was so much better. and it kept us from going in circles.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about, we had some predictions as far as what we thought would happen to certain characters before the season in the preseason cast.
Oh, shit. Did you go back and write all that shit down?
I went back. I got it all. I got every character here.
I was on the record as saying I was convinced T-Dog was going to die, right?
Well, I've actually got a clip to play.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and run this clip from our preseason cast, and you just tell me what you think now.
Okay.
Last but certainly not least in our eyes, maybe in the writers, T-Dog. I was at 50-50 here. He could go, he could stay. You were at 0. No chance he's going to die.
I feel like the writers have like some kind of personal mission to prove all of us wrong that they've got something in for T-Dog, or T-Dog's an afterthought. Yeah. If anything, I see a big expansion of his character this season.
Wow.
Big expansion.
Swing and a miss.
Well, if expansion means getting ripped apart by zombies, yes.
Oh, wow. Wow. That makes it even more shocking what they actually ended up doing.
Yeah.
I was just going on the last season where Mazzara was adamant that they were big fans of T-Dog, and they really had a lot of ideas from in the writer's room, and that was one of the big problems going forward, and they didn't do anything about it. In fact, they made it worse. So I guess our new hope is on Tyrese.
Oh, yeah, that's a real good hope.
Yeah.
Their track record is not good with that.
Yeah, so...
All right, well, let's talk about the other characters that are still around. Although, I got to say, I gave Lori a 100% chance of dying, and you gave her a 75% chance of dying. So
we
both kind of hit that. I gave her 100% because I just hated her character.
And I did not see her dying before the mid-season finale. So that was genuinely shocking.
Rick, we both gave 0%. His shields are strong. Same with Carl, 0%. Herschel, I gave him 80% chance of dying. You gave him a shaky 0%. You were waffling a little bit.
Sure.
But you nailed it.
I was worried when he got his leg peeled off.
Yeah, that's why I gave him 80.
Yeah.
Because that's a vicious wound
right
in the apocalypse. Daryl, we both gave 0. Same with Glenn. Maggie, I gave 20% chance of death.
What'd I give?
0.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how you feel about that?
I still feel good about that.
Okay.
I think...
Because Confrontation Woodbury's just beginning.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I would bump it up a little bit.
There's got to be a body count.
40%.
I mean, the thing is there's got to be a body count, right? And there's not that many bodies left to go around.
Axel. Let's toss Axel out.
Okay.
Let's get him out of here. He doesn't need to be there.
No, would it surprise me if he survived this season? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't really care.
Okay. So that's a 0%.
Yeah.
I got to say, Glenn and Maggie as a package deal, I give a 75% chance of one of them dying. Because, like I said before, I think it just makes that more interesting.
So as a unit, you'd say 0% chance of them both dying, but surviving as a whole, you give a 0% chance of that either.
No, I give a 25% chance of them surviving completely.
Okay.
So 75% chance that one of them is going to die.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Beth, we both gave 100% chance of dying because we didn't care about her.
That hope is still alive.
It's still there, yeah. Carol, we also both gave 100% chance of dying. So
hope is still alive.
I don't know what that says. Michonne, we gave 0 because we needed an entire season of her.
Man, if they fucking kill Michonne in this next in season 3.5, they just need to hang it up.
They will.
The NAACP will get involved. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton is going to move in.
What if they bring in another strong black woman?
The same episode?
To replace her, yeah.
CCH Pounder?
That'd be awesome,
We need to get CCH Pounder in there.
Yeah.
Talk some no-nonsense, gruff, take no shit.
She
anybody.
Couldn't be killed off.
No.
She'd body slam a writer.
Right. That's right.
How about Axel? What do you think about him dying? Did we go over him already?
I just say I don't care, yeah.
I think we did. Merle? He's back now. We couldn't rate him last time.
I'd say 100% chance of death.
Wow.
He's an irresolvable character, and I don't see him going off to the sunset.
Good point. I'll agree. 100%. The governor, 100%, right? This guy's got to die.
Yeah. They built it up to where we want him to die. Mm-hmm. The show is ultimately a lot. It likes to give fan service. Yeah, 100% chance.
All right. The last character who anybody gives a shit about, Poindexter / Milton.
Did we talk about Andrea?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, what did you give her chances of survival?
Oh, well, we kind of skipped over her and just read what we thought last time. I think her chances of survival are pretty good.
Yeah, honestly. I'm near 100%.
Yeah, it's high.
Poindexter is going to fucking die because I don't want to have to chug a fifth.
For you,
that might kill me. True. Yes.
It might. What are the chances that Aaron dies this season? As good as Poindexter's chances.
Make it out with an intact liver.
Yeah. I don't think Poindexter will die. I think they'll integrate him into the group.
You asshole.
Because... I know, I've set up a dichotomy here.
Mm-hmm.
Because Andrea's there. She knows that this guy isn't a huge asshole, right? I mean, she's seen him. He's just a naive, science-loving dude.
Yeah.
So if the shit goes down at Woodbury and the group has a chance to rescue him, I think Andrea will vouch for him.
Yeah, I've got a spoiler take on him, too.
Oh, all right.
I'm a little concerned myself.
Well, that's it. That's pretty much all I had to say about this season. Except for the other 8 hours that we talked about it. So do we want to get into the spoiler section? Do a little outro stuff?
Yeah, I can queue up an outro for us.
Alrighty.
So we are part of the Bald Move Network, and you can find all of our content at baldmove.com, including our full coverage of The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, latest seasons of Mad Men and Breaking Bad. And don't forget our affiliates, our now old affiliates, our affiliate emeritus, the Personal Arrogance crew out of Seattle. This week they returned off of their matrimonial hiatus with the rise of the miniseries, something kind of near and dear to our heart, the fall of Barley, news from Antarctica, and unintentional dong submissions.
The fall of Barley starts out super boring, but stick with it. It gets good.
Yeah, this show, and part of it is because I like the guys so much, but like just their banter cracks me up. And our newest affiliates, the Because Show. Out of California. They are playing the fact and fiction guessing game. They review Cormac McCarthy's novel, The Road. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And check in on Stephen King news and reveal some deep secrets. So check that out. And they'd love to know what you think. So send them feedback. Check out their show. It's awesome.
Definitely.
You can give us feedback at watchingdead@baldmove.com. Like us on Facebook.com/baldmove, which is, by the way, the best way to find out about our new cast, upcoming cast, when we're going to do pre-shows.
That Boulder meetup. Follow Jim on Twitter.com/baldmove for the same. We always appreciate your reviews and ratings on iTunes. It's the single biggest thing that drives traffic to our cast. We appreciate each and every one. And if you haven't yet and you have iTunes installed, please take 30 seconds out of your day and click a couple stars for us. We'd appreciate it. More than a couple.
Yeah, 4 or 5, whatever you can spare.
Sure.
And use our Amazon affiliate link at amazon.baldmove.com. Amazon.com's got crazy deals all the time. If you're a Prime customer, you can get free 2-day shipping on damn near everything. How crazy is that? How cool is that? You're loving that, right?
I am.
I used it for last year.
$70
I'm evangelizing
per year.
it.
And it's insane.
And you get all their digital, Netflix type offerings.
I don't even get a piece of anybody signing up for Prime. I'm just saying it's an awesome freaking deal.
Awesome. It's an awesome service, and it's a great way to do your Christmas shopping. And we get a tiny kickback of everything you buy using that Amazon.baldmove.com link.
You want to know what's even better?
What?
Than Amazon by itself?
What?
Amazon and Audible combination.
Ooh.
Because so if you go to audiblepodcast.com/baldmove, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial, get one free download of an audiobook of your choosing. They have a really cool feature. And this isn't even an advertisement. This is just me saying, oh, my God, this is awesome. So you can take a book on Kindle, like a regular ebook, and you can read it on your Kindle. You can read it on your iPhone, your desktop, whatever you want. You can, while you're reading it and turning pages through that, it keeps track of where you are so that if you have the audiobook and you get like into your car
That's
with your phone,
awesome.
it syncs up and it will start playing right where you left off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then you take it back to your bedroom or whatever on your phone, and you're reading, and it's synced up where you went in your car.
I read a lot of series
It's
that way
insane.
because I prefer reading.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if I'm in I got an hour commute, I'll jump in and I have to always manually sync that up. It's a pain in the ass. I had no idea they did that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's recent or what, but it's through their WhisperNet client.
Oh,
It's
that's sweet.
fantastic.
That is a great idea.
The best book innovation I've ever heard of, honestly.
And if you want to get caught up on
Since the printing press.
If you want to get caught up on Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire, as it's called in the literary circles, they've got all of George R.R. Martin's works unabridged.
Yeah.
And you can get one of them free with our link. What is it, Jim?
audiblepodcast.com/baldmove.
Sweet.
Any more outro stuff?
Tell a
Is
friend.
that about it? Tell a friend.
You have a friend? I know you got at least one. Tell them. Tell them about baldmove.com. Evangelize that shit.
All right.
Now we're ready for spoilers.
Okay. Well, as always, I guess until next season. Not until next week.
It's coming up quicker than you think. It's like mid.
It's a couple
February.
months out.
I want
yeah.
to say like February 13th or something.
That was like 10th, maybe.
Yeah, it's not a long hiatus at all.
No,
Barely
it's
enough
not.
time to get her breath caught, get some projects slammed out.
Yeah.
Stay
so
tuned to Facebook and Twitter if you want to find out what we're doing next.
seriously, thank you to everybody who has listened through the last 2 seasons, or I guess season and a half.
Yeah,
That we've done of Walking Dead. It's one of our biggest shows, and it's one of the shows that I enjoy talking about the most because
Sure.
we occasionally get to slam it,
yeah,
and that's kind of fun.
we get to do our skits. We don't
We
do
get
that
to
any
our
other show.
No, that's awesome. So thank you everybody for listening, and until next half season, I'm Jim. And we're back with the spoiler section. We don't have a preview to run, so
Bane of my existence, queuing up them damn clips.
yeah, we're going right into the spoiler emails.
Can I talk about my theories first before I forget?
We're
them?
going right into the
Okay,
spoiler
fuck it.
emails. It's audience first, this cast.
All right, that's true. That's true.
They're not super heavy on spoilers. It's just that they mention things that happen in the comics,
Okay.
so I wanted to move them. Mark E. says, here is some rampant and unfounded speculation for season 3.5.
The best
My
kind.
Yep. T-Dog is gone. We're down to Axel being the lone prisoner, and the Dixons are in the shit. Since episode 8's title is one of the comic narrative arcs, it got me thinking. I'm worried things are setting up to trim characters to those appearing in the comics. I hope I'm wrong. I'm really enjoying how this story has diverged from the comics, keeps it unpredictable, and recognizes a different medium has to be treated differently. But yeah, he thinks they're going to take out everybody who's not in the comics. I don't know that they're going to go that strict on the comic stuff. They have said that they wanted to tighten it up, but I don't know that they'll kill everyone who's not in the comics because that would include Daryl, and that just I can't see him dying.
Yeah, it'd be tough to survive Daryl. And I want to throw something at you.
All right.
Something I was talking about with Jason. I feel like I cheated with you today, or you cheated on you today by casting with Jason.
Psh, I don't care.
Anyway, one thing I talked to him about was that Norman Reedus is probably arguably the biggest star on The Walking Dead right now.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
most popular. He's also had the Boondock Saints.
Certainly in America. I don't know what
He
Lincoln
actually
has
might
done over
get
there.
competitive offers to do other things, and I think
Yeah.
that might be his character's downfall if he has a conflict that they have to write him out of.
Maybe.
And honestly, if they put that in their back pocket as a big audience gut punch, that would be a huge audience gut punch.
He should just pull a Cranston and work 24/7 to do 8 movies in a summer
Right.
while he's working on the TV show. Speaking of Bryan Cranston, Brian C. writes in, after reading the comics, I think the governor is sending Merle to the prison as an informant, as he did with Martinez in the comics. I predict that he will sentence Merle and Daryl to death by throwing them outside the walls to be with the walkers. This is to lead on the residents of Woodbury and get Merle to the prison in preparation for an invasion at a later date. What are you thinking about him being a double agent?
Merle?
Yeah.
I actually think that's one of the things I want to talk about because
Is it? Okay.
just like they said in the comic, that is a storyline where someone, earns the character's trust or tries to, and as a way to, and makes it seem like there is a convenient getaway. And I can see, the survivors having a, storming the Death Star moment where it's like, that was too easy. They rescued both boys, and Merle's trying to make a good show, and then they get him back to the prison, and 2 days go by, and he learns everything about him, and then he just shows up missing one day, and he's gone back to the governor to tell him all about it.
That would be really interesting, too, because I feel like Rick last season might have caught that, and this season, or the last half of the season, I guess, maybe his judgment is a little too clouded.
Yeah,
from his psychotic breaks.
That's my only problem, is I don't see this current incarnation of the group buying that for one fucking second. Like, Merle would stay
but you got the
cell.
guy.
He'd be locked up in a cell every night.
Glenn certainly would not stand for that. Glenn is like, no, this guy is not coming back. He tortured me.
Right. We can't trust him.
Daryl, I feel like, would. It's his brother. Rick,
yeah, sure.
He's gone psychotic, so maybe he would. I don't know. It'd be an interesting struggle between Glenn and company.
I think that'd be a cool idea for them to do that, but also I can see if they don't do it right, it's going to strain my suspension of disbelief.
Okay. Fair enough. Blake from Australia says, just wanted to get your opinion on the mid-season ending of Season 3. At first, I thought the way it ended would set up Daryl versus Merle fight to the death situation, but after thinking it through, I think that it might all be part of the governor's plan. He basically says the same thing here, where Martinez helps Rick and crew to escape from Woodbury, only to attempt to report back to the governor on the location of the prison. And yeah, he's sorry. I probably shouldn't have read this, but Blake from Australia, you're getting a free shout-out because we just talked about this. Michael D. says, comic book spoilery predictions. Since Andrea's character is completely irredeemable in the eyes of many fans, she won't wise up to the whole situation until it's far too late, and she will be a fitting replacement for the Lily character. The epic scene with Lori and the baby will still happen with Maggie instead. Herschel lives, unlike in the comics. The results of this scene weigh heavy on Glenn and Herschel. It will go a long way in shaping those characters in future seasons. I don't know who the Lily character is. Who is Lily in the comic books?
I want to say Lily, isn't she the one we talked about last week that turns on the governor at the last minute?
I don't know. I haven't read that far.
As they're assaulting the prison, and the governor, they've gone in there and torn down the walls, and the walkers are storming it, and somehow Lori and the baby die, and Lily sees that, and like I said, turns on him.
Okay,
I think. Yeah. Like I said, that's possible.
I mean, that could be. That seems like a likely arc for Andrea, right? I mean, she's now totally enamored with the governor. Things are starting to break down there, and if she sees anything bad like that happen at the governor's hands, I'm sure she would turn on him.
Yeah.
Especially to her group, her original group.
Right. Yeah, so Lily's the one that accidentally shot and killed Lori and Judith Grimes. After shooting them, she blamed the governor for Judith's death and became extremely distraught. As a result, she killed the governor and kicked him toward a wall of zombies. So...
Cool. I don't know what the epic scene with Lori and the baby is that he suggests Maggie could stand in for.
They get cut down with a shotgun blast. That's what I'm saying. Both mother and child die in that scene.
Ouch.
And I feel like Judith can't live, right? We should have gave her odds on the baby.
Oh yeah, we forgot that.
But I mean, she dies in the comic. It's having a baby is a fucking liability in this apocalypse. I'm not rooting for it to happen, but I can see. I just don't know what the hell Rick does at that point. And Carl, because even Carl's
he's already messed up.
This is my family. Carl's already adopted her.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know, but that's it for spoiler emails. Did you want to talk about some spoilery stuff?
The only thing I got is the one thing that worries me about Poindexter surviving is if Glenn Mazzara and company have an idea to transfer him into the Dwayne character, I think is his name.
Who's that?
He's the fat kind of slob that is a high school chemistry teacher or high school science teacher, and he pretends that he was a government agent that's working on the program that created the zombies.
Oh my god!
And he's got this military-style radio that he convinces these people that he was trying to get to Washington D.C. because he's got vital research that can turn the tide, and his battery ran low, and that he's got to get closer to Washington D.C. so they can establish contact with him.
Why does he really want to go to D.C.?
He just wants to survive because he's a weakling and he has no redeeming qualities. So he tells these lies to get other people to protect him and see him as important. So I can see Poindexter maybe portraying shades of that role, like either appealing to Andrea. Because the other thing is he's got all these experiments that we don't know about that require power.
To be weak.
Now, if you believe that the old man death was the only experiment he's running, but he could say, I mean, in as Woodbury's falling to shit, he could go to Andrea or Rick and say, look, I was actually, only with the governor because he was funding my research and this is vital, and like maybe they'd take it in that direction, and he would be that character, and then season 4 is about uncovering that big ball of bullshit. Or
plus, how cool of a set piece would be an overrun DC.
Well, the other thing that happens
sweet.
The other thing that happens in the comics that once this guy gets exposed is he says, I am a science teacher, so I could do things like make bullets for you guys, and do things like that, which would be a huge thing. Reloading bullets would be huge in the zombie apocalypse. So maybe Poindexter can say, look, I know how to make gunpowder, I can cast bullets, I can like offer something to Rick and as people pointed out, he's not that bad of a guy. So if he manages to survive under those auspices, I will be one sick little boy.